On the docket for today's San Francisco 49ers report, we're dissecting and breaking down the Niners playoff picture. San Francisco's in a really good spot as we enter December here after their win against the Philadelphia Eagles. But what do they have to do to get that number one seed so that home field advantage goes through the Bay Area at Levi's Stadium? What are the recent Super Bowl odds and playoff percentages? All of that coming your way as we want to inform all of you. First, though, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't subscribed, you simply ain't alive. And you should subscribe if you want daily shows on the Niners, Niners analysis, news, and rumors, live shows and watch parties, a platform where you have a voice as the fan, and you also join the largest independently run Niners channel right here on YouTube of more than 103,000 subscribers. San Francisco can clinch a playoff spot on Sunday with the win against the Seattle Seahawks. Here's how they can do it. If they win and the Packers lose, or if the 49ers win and the Vikings lose, or if the Niners win and both the Green Bay Packers, who have been really hot of late, good ball being played by Jordan Love, and the Minnesota Vikings tie. So that's how San Francisco can clinch a playoff spot on Sunday. It all requires the Niners winning, and if they do win, they take a 3-game commanding lead over the next best team in this division. 9-3, Rams are 6-6, Seahawks are 6-6. I guess it would be technically a 4-game lead. Either way, they take commanding control of the NFC West. We'll look at those NFC West standings here in just a bit. First, though, let's lay the foundation, and let's take a look at the NFC playoff picture here. Philadelphia Eagles, still the number one seed. So if the season were to end today, home field advantage like last year would have to go through Philadelphia. But San Francisco just showed that they have no issues with going on the road with a full-strength football team and laying the wood on Philadelphia. Now, I will say this, that if the Eagles and the Niners end the season with the same record, this is why that win was so critical for the Niners, they have the tiebreaker. So then San Francisco would get the better seed between those two teams. Detroit Lions holding firm in that 3 spot in the NFC at 9-3. Atlanta Falcons are leading the NFC South. That's why at 6-6, they're still ahead of the Dallas Cowboys, who are in that 5th spot. Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers, 6-6 right now. Those two teams, a couple of critical matchups coming up in NFC North play, and that will most likely decide which of those teams could potentially make the playoffs. But then you look at some of the other teams in the hunt, Los Angeles Rams, as well as the San Francisco 49ers. We go back to those NFC West standings. So I think I may have messed that up a little bit earlier. If the 49ers win and they move to 10-3, and the Seahawks drop to 6-7, San Francisco, to clarify things, would have a 4-game lead on Seattle. Of course, we'll see what happens with the Los Angeles Rams. It could either be a 4-game lead or a 3-game lead. Either way, the Niners are not losing this division, and they're going to win the NFC West for the second consecutive year. It's all a matter of when. It doesn't come down to if. You look at the Super Bowl odds now. This is across the entire NFL, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody very impressed with that Niners dub against the Eagles. Able to score 6 consecutive touchdowns on their 6 consecutive tries after going down 6-0. And the overall well-rounded play against a really good team in Philadelphia. So the Niners, odds-on favorites to win the Super Bowl here at plus 320. And really, there's no excuse for this football team. I think they're the most talented, they're the deepest, and one of the most well-coached teams in the league. Plus 320 there. Philadelphia, right behind them, at plus 550. So the odds makers here think that the Niners and the Eagles, just like yours truly, top 2 teams in football, reside in the NFC with San Francisco and the Eagles. The Kansas City Chiefs have slipped a little bit. Their offense has been bad. They're at plus 650. Miami Dolphins and Mike McDaniel, 7-1 odds. Dallas Cowboys at plus 850. And I think people are sleeping on the Baltimore Ravens. If I was putting together these odds, I think the Ravens should have the best odds in the AFC because I think their defense can shut down a Miami or a Kansas City, and their offense has been really good. Lamar Jackson finally has a really good group of skill position players, even though Mark Andrews is out for the year. Pretty good value play there at plus 850 if you like to lay down some cheddar and bet on the game of football. I want you to chime in in the comment section right now. And I want you to tell me how confident you are that the Niners can win the Super Bowl and complete the quest for 6. Scale that level of confidence for me from 1 to 100. 1, not confident at all. 100, very, very confident. Today's 49ers Report is sponsored by PrizePicks, by the way, the #1 and largest independently run daily fantasy sports app in North America. And we have the best deal for the faithful that any daily fantasy sports app has to offer. A $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Daily fantasy sports made easy. You pick 2 or more players. You choose more or less on their projected stat lines. And now you can combine your NBA and NFL picks, or you can go straight with some NFL picks, like producer Chip was able to do during our watch party on Sunday against Philadelphia. He had a big payout here, winning a lot of real money because he took Christian McCaffrey more than a half rushing touchdown, Jalen Hurts more than a half rushing touchdown, Hassan Reddick more than 0.75 sacks, and George Kittle more than 47.5 receiving yards. All of those, they cashed in. So Chip a little bit richer thanks to PrizePicks. You can get a little bit richer with that $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS. All of that information available for you down in the comment section and in the description of this video. In my humble opinion, I think there are 4 teams who are threats to get the #1 seed in the NFC when you look at the standings right now. It's Philadelphia, San Francisco, Dallas, and Detroit. But I believe that the road to Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas goes through 2 of these teams because I think only 2 of these squads are serious, dangerous threats to actually get that #1 seed. Because it's mathematically possible for all these teams on your screen to get home field advantage. But with Philadelphia and San Francisco, I think they're the top 2 teams. But when you look at the remaining schedules for all of these squads, I think the path lies and the path leads to either Philadelphia or the Niners getting that top spot. You look at the 49ers' remaining schedule. Isn't it crazy how there are only 5 regular season games left in the 2023 campaign? This calendar year in 2023 has gone by so quickly. Niners' remaining schedule: home against the Seahawks, on the road against the Arizona Cardinals, home against the Baltimore Ravens, potential Super Bowl 58 preview maybe, the 31st, New Year's Eve, on the road against the Washington Commanders. Thanks to Shane Kirshner, by the way, loyal viewer of the show, we're going to be raffling away tickets for that game, I believe, during that Cardinals watch party. So if you live in the DC area, please let me know down in the comment section right now. And then the Niners rounding out the regular season at home against the Los Angeles Rams. For these games here, winnable, 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 and winnable. Ravens is going to be tough. Cross-country Chip is always a difficult one, but the Niners could win out here, and it's totally doable. For Philadelphia, you look at their remaining 5 games. A really difficult one and a big one for the entire NFC on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. Then the Eagles have to go on the road against the Seattle Seahawks. They haven't won in Seattle since 2008. I'm not sure they've beaten Seattle as a team since 2008. So these are 2 really difficult games here. But then Philadelphia ends with a pretty easy slate after what has been a really rough go with Kansas City, Buffalo, San Francisco in these 2 games here. Giants, Cardinals, Giants. So for San Francisco to get that #1 seed, they might need to win out and then get some help from Philadelphia. The Cowboys' remaining schedule. This is why I don't think the Dallas Cowboys are threats to have home field advantage go through Arlington, Texas. Eagles, difficult game. Bills have plenty to play for, playing for their playoff lives right now. Miami's really good on the road. Detroit Lions fighting for playoff positioning, having arguably one of their best seasons in franchise history, and then a divisional game against the Commanders. Of these 5 here, you can envision a scenario in which the Cowboys lose a couple of those, right? Then you go to the Detroit Lions. Their remaining schedule, on the road against the Bears. They should have lost to the Bears a couple of weeks ago, but Chicago, of course, in classic Bears fashion, blew it. Against the Broncos, difficult game. Vikings twice in the last 3, and then on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. This is why, with the remaining schedules, I believe the number 1 seed will either be Philadelphia or San Francisco. The 49ers need one more loss from Philadelphia than what the Niners suffer, because right now, going into the final 5-game stretch, they are trailing the Eagles by 1 game. The Niners do own the tiebreaker, though. So if those 2 teams end the season with the same record, we're going to look back to last week's NFC Championship game rematch, and that matchup being the difference in who might get home field. The 49ers have the better record right now in the NFC as compared to Detroit. So if it comes down to a 1 seed, a 2 seed, or a 3 seed being determined with Detroit or San Francisco, as of right now, the Niners own that tiebreaker. San Francisco, according to the New York Times, they have a really good playoff simulation, have a 19% chance to get the number 1 seed. The Eagles have a 43% chance to get that number 1 seed. A team that you do not want to play if you're San Francisco in the wild card round, because now only the number 1 seeds get that playoff bye in the wild card round, is the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love, the coaching staff has started to put the ball in his hands a little bit more. He's been one of the most efficient quarterbacks over the last couple of weeks. Their defense is playing really well. That team collectively is playing really well. Look out for the Green Bay Packers in the NFC. With that, we round out with this. What seed will the Niners end up with? Give me a numerical number down below in the comment section right now. I think it's going to be the 1 or 2 seed. You let me know for yourself right now.